Hi, everybody. Dave Clark from SpecCheck.net. Today, the title says, "Would you start this?" So I just want to um, set the stage. So I'm at the inspection. Get that out of my way. I'm at the inspection, and it is a steam boiler. Okay, that's all I'm going to tell you. It's a steam boiler. And it is not at the time when you probably would need a steam boiler or any boiler. So it's actually not running at the time, but all indications were that it was, and I mean, the house is lived in. And let me share my screen. So you get down to the basement, and you see. Make sure I do the right one. You see this. Make it bigger. Even bigger. Even bigger than that. There you go. This is all you need to see. All right. So you see this, and what you're going to do is you're going to turn it on. You're going to turn on the thermostat and get this thing to fire up. Are you going to do that? Okay. Now look, so it's steam, and we see that this is at 0. And that's where it's supposed to be because it's not operating. Okay. Unlike a hydronic boiler that's going to have some pressure, maybe anywhere from 8 to 12 or even up to 15 pounds of pressure. The temperature will be at room temperature. So both gauges, both dials on a hydronic boiler are going to be somewhere, right? They're not going to be at 0. If they're at 0, that's another show. We'll talk about that later. But this one is at 0 where it's supposed to be. So that's the first thing that tells me that's okay. But let's take a look at the sight glass, and I could even make that bigger for you. And I'll move it over, move it up. Look at the sight glass. And so where is the water? And the answer is right here. Okay. Now we know that on a steam unit, on a steam, it really should be up here in the top part, right? A lot of manufacturers will tell you at least 3/4 high. Okay. But at the very, at the smallest amount, depending on that autofill valve, there's a lot of other things that have to happen. But if it's not at least at half, but I really want to see it up there. I would not start it because what's going to happen is there's a chance that you can cook that. Okay, so we really need to be in this upper area here. That water down here, not going to cut it. I'm not going to turn that on because we do not want to fry that heat exchanger. All right, let me show you something else real quick here. And I'll show you how we're going to report on that. It's simple enough. But again, the gauge. So here's one too. Water's filthy, right? But anyway, here's where the manufacturer, because this is a manufacturer, not an installer sticker. It says water level is there. Okay. Now, technically, this is more than half, just barely, probably, I'm thinking half is probably right about there. So technically it's above half. So there you probably won't damage it, but I would say to you, if this is where they want the water level and it's not there, I would make a note of it. Now, if the homeowner's there and they want to manually put it in, if it's manual, all the newer ones now have auto fill valves, but they could be shot too. Obviously, it's not working or it's not set properly because it should be in this area and it's not. So I would not turn this on either. And I know some of you are saying, oh, it's more than half, you should be okay. And you're probably right. But this is where the water level is, and that's where it needs to be. And this is where I would take a picture and say, unable to start unit because the water's not at the proper level. It could cause damage to the heat exchanger. So you ask me how I would write that. Pretty simple. I mean, this one, I know a lot of people you need to take tons of pictures. So I would just take one picture and that's it. So we're going to go over to heating. And again, same thing. Where is it located? I don't know if I would put unit not operable because I don't really know that. We can't see anything about the gauge because it's at 0 where it's supposed to be. So in this case, it's just going to be steam. And it talks about, gives your client some advice on that. And the condition of the unit. And if you looked at both of them, actually, there's definitely considerable corrosion noted to the water chambers. I would make a note of that too. Okay. But then we're going to go to the response. And this is where, you know, thermostat, wherever that's located, BTUs, you could put that in there wherever. And then the fuel type in this case was natural gas. But we can't put the unit responded to the thermostat or controls. It did not respond properly. That would really be reserved for, you know, it's short cycling, or it took a time to go on, or it didn't move. But I'm just going to put the heating unit did not respond. Okay. And I'm going to qualify that and put unable to operate or start unit due to low water level. Okay. And it will continue on. Inspect check says recommend the unit and the thermostat is evaluated by a qualified heating contractor. In this case, we could take thermostat out. Well, we don't know. We actually don't know if the thermostat's any good. So I guess I would probably leave it in because they might as well check it while they're there. But anyway, that's what I would put. I can't do it. We could still inspect the flue pipe. We could still inspect the supply and return pipes, no problem. If there's any corrosion on the pipes here, you know, and we can do that. There's no expansion tank on that unit. But that's it. Simple as that. You know, we're not going to take a chance frying that heat exchanger. Okay, so that was the question. Would you start this unit? My answer is no. I'd like to hear your answers. Maybe you would, or maybe you would add water to it. I think that's it's a bad idea to do that, to manually add water to it, or even try to figure out what the problem is. The issue is that, you know, they know they're having a home inspection and there's a problem with it. They may not even know it. They may have been running it that low for a long time, which is not a good idea. So hope that gave you a little insight on steam. They're still out there. I've got a couple pictures of brand new high efficient steam units. I could share them with you too, and I will do that. So please subscribe. We have more videos like this coming, and I got so much material. It's a lot of fun sharing it. You can also go to homeinspectortrainingonline.com for even more training videos and some nice white papers and our blog. Till I see you next time, have a great day.